Why are they fighting? I don't... Oh my god. Good morning and welcome back to our survival build a city challenge in this post-apocalyptic world. In the last episode we had our first wedding, and today we are going to take a look at the first cabins and town services that this brand new town is going to start out with. So without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so I think it is time to start looking at the town and actually building a town, since we are doing a build a city challenge. So far we've only really looked at the settlement and close-ups of the other buildings in the main hood. So let's zoom out and see what the rest of this map looks like, because I don't think that I've ever shown you. So it's a large forest area, and I'm not really done with the trees on this side, but I am sort of done with the trees on this side and on the other side. And there are actually 4 entrances to the map. There's the one here that leads to the gas station, one here that we haven't been yet, one here that we haven't been yet, and there's actually one here too, but that one sort of failed when I created the map, so that was my fault, but it was actually supposed to be a map entrance or exit. So we have, right here we have the quarry and the edge of the forest that sort of leads into this forest and this forest area, and a road leading to the gas station. And on this side we have the cornfields. And then the middle of the map where the actual town is supposed to be. Now you can disregard these buildings because these are, for me, for temporary and backstage purposes. But we have started to build a little bit of the town. Actually, the builders did that. Kome, Brandon, Goopy. They all worked on this. So yeah, let's see what we have so far. We've got one cabin that is going to be for Brandy and John. Now this is a really small and basic cabin. I'm trying to build no larger than a 7x8 or a 10x9, no, a 10 by 11 by 7, I think. Yeah. So that's mainly the proportions that I want to build in. And on the other side there is another cabin that is probably going to be for Abjit and Christy. There's a large garden right here that vegetables can be planted in, and you can see that it's exactly 10k. I don't know how I did that. That was completely unexpected. I was just building, and when I thought, well, this is about done, it was exactly 10k. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna touch anything about it anymore. That is finished. And the first town service has also been built. So let's check my notebook. So the building crew has gone on their building trips for 5 days in a row now. And they didn't go with the same amount of builders each and every day. They went with 2 survivors on the first and the second day, then 2 times with 5. And the last day that is going to be in this episode, this Tuesday, they are going to go to work with 6 builders. So we're also going to put Abjit in the building career because we want him to be an architect. So we can only achieve that if he enters the architecture career. So we did that. And yeah, that means that so far we have collected 20 building points. That's actually quite a lot. And every building that we've built, so all of the houses will cost 4 building points. So these 2 cost 8 building points. And a town service is also 8 building points. And also a community lot, a sim-owned community lot, like a shop, will also be 4 building points. So in total, we can actually build 5 buildings. And that is perfect because we have 3 right now, and I will show you this in a minute. But that means that afterwards, we can also start building this community lot. And you can see by the layout probably that this is really going to be the town center. Like this is actually going to be the center, but this is going to be sort of the town center, and on the outsides we have like the school district and space for more luxurious homes and stuff. But this is going to be like the mayor's the mayor's quarter with the mayor's home and the town hall in the future. We are not going to have a town hall right now, but we are going to have sort of like a city council. That is going to be the third. We're not going to build that right now, but that is going to be the third town service that they're going to get. But we need a campaign manager for that, so John needs to make a promotion. But when he gets that, and when we have enough building points, we will make sort of an area with a fire pit where they can all gather and have their town meetings and stuff. So that is what we're going to build here. We have the stockpiles right here. And then we have room on both ends. And I think actually eventually both sides of the town hall will have a park. But I think for now we are going to just focus and just place it here. It will not be symmetrical, unfortunately, unless we are going to build something right here that is bigger. So this is going to be the Shining Rock Park. There we go. And Reshade came back again. So this is going to be Shining Rock Park, and we will build something there that I will show you after this clip. But first we are going to look at the stockpiles. Now this, I think I said this in the last episode, this is 100% inspired by Banished, where you have these stockpiles and a huge barn and stuff. And I tried to replicate that as good as I could, and I'm not really a builder. I'm still not a builder, but I think it came out quite cute. So we have the barn, the storage area right here with some small areas on the side. I still think the building looks like it has wings, so I might change the roof. But for now it looks good. And on this side, it's just something that I always really love when playing survival games, like an area, a shelter where you can store your wood and stone and metal and stuff. So I put in 1 stack of firewood that they're going to get for free, just to show you that is what it's going to look like when they put items in here. And we're going to have our logs right here, our sawn planks and our bricks and stuff. And on the other side we can have all sorts of items that they've collected. And we'll have a cart right here to represent that they can come here at any time, take some items and take them to wherever they want to go in the area, because this is all going to be pretty close to the new cabins that are all going to be located. These are the first 2, and the rest is going to be around here. So on this road and on that road is where the basic cabins, like the small cabins, are going to be. So I think that's going to be really cool. So up until now, I've collected all of the items that they need to build the house in Kome's inventory. But from now on, when John owns this building, we can actually come here, give the items to John, and he will store them here, and we can come here and collect them whenever we need them to buy a new house again, a new cabin. And there's also some planks and shelving to put the food, like the preserved food in, that they're going to need in winter. So Christy's going to do a lot of food preserving. She's going to make these big jars that have, I think, 75 food points each. So she can all store them here, and the others can come here and grab them whenever they need them. And then in the back we have a small storage area for treasures. So this is mainly going to be John's secret area where he can store all kinds of things that have a use in future advancements and stuff like that. There's a small area here. I think we're going to place a bucket right here, so they won't have to leave the lot for that. This area is inaccessible, but we obviously need the phone and the trash bin, but we don't need to actually be able to be there. But yeah, there's another area right here that maybe they can store like bigger items that I don't know what to do with, or maybe future crafting benches and stuff like that. And of course on this side, this is actually inaccessible. That's my area. That's the bed box, the visitor controller and the sim blender that we're going to need to run this lot. And I really should put a time control clock in there. I don't think I did that. Did I do that? No, it's not in here. Is it under the trash can? I usually put it under the trash can. I don't think it is. Nope, it's not. So we're going to put in a time control clock. I will put it right there. So that is finished. And yeah, I thought it would be probably really convenient. Since there's wood right here, they could come here if they, need a few more items to craft something, or at least there's a crafting bench right here so they can make items when they come here to get some resources. So maybe they don't even have to bring them home. They can just craft some items here. And a little market cart for, I don't know, a summer, just to put some stuff out there. We are going to have like a marketplace in the future, but I thought it looked cute, so I put it there. And these items don't actually do anything. They're just decorative, and they're just to, signal that that is where they are going to place their, maybe their grain and their, all these. That's actually a good idea for this storage area right here. They could definitely put their grain and their flour in here to keep it dry. Yeah, that's definitely going in here too. Until we have processing stations that we can actually use that stuff in. At least when our grain fields survive. So yeah, that's the storage part. And that is going to be really useful because when they all live in their own houses, not everyone has access to the survivor settlement at all times. So they can just come here, grab their items, and thank John, and then go home again. So let's move back to neighborhood view, because in the meantime the next two town services have also been built, and it's time to take a look at those before we start the actual episode. So on the left we have the town council, just a fire pit where they can all gather and have their town meetings, and on the right we have a little park where they can shower and freshen up and do their laundry and stuff like that. So let's take a closer look. So here is the Shining Rock Park, and I'm sure it will have much more meaning in the future. But for now, we will just have a little essentials building with the just the necessary stuff, with the community phone and a trash can and an emergency bucket. And on the other side is the actual purpose of this lot, and that is here they can come and take a shower. There's also a fire pit. They can sit here, talk to each other while they wait for, I don't know, their companion to take a shower or something. There's this wash tub, so they could also come here and do laundry. They do not actually have to bring their own water. There's a water supply right here, so they can just grab 2 buckets. I do have a mod where they have to have water in their inventory in order for them to take a shower, but they don't necessarily have to bring their own water. If they don't have water, they can just grab it here, take their shower, and continue with their day. So that's the idea for this lot, and all of these lots are probably going to grow and develop together with the town, and we're going to expand on these. This is not going to be an owned lot, so this is just a community lot that they can visit, and it is actually available with the building points that we have right now. So we are going to add this to the town right now. We don't really need it at this point because we still have the water supply at the settlement, but once the survivors move into their own houses, we are probably going to need some extra places where they can freshen up and do something about their hygiene. So, yep. And then there's the town council right next to it, and you can probably guess what this is for. They can just gather all here and have their town meetings. The settlement was getting way too small for that, so we are going to use this lot for whenever they want to have their meetings. Again, the necessary essentials emergency shack with the phone booth in it, the trash can, and an emergency bucket. But other than that, there's not really much to do on this lot. They can chop some wood if they really need it, and if they have a shortage of wood to light the fires. But mostly I think these fires will be burning whenever they visit the lot. And so this is where they will hold their town meetings from now on. We'll have to see when the first one is going to be here. But yeah, there was no way all 18 of them were going to fit around a little campfire at the settlement. So we needed a better place for that. And they built this. This will, however, not be available until John gets promoted to campaign manager, but I'm sure that'll be soon enough. So with all of that out of the way, let's jump into the settlement and see how they are going to start their Tuesday and how their day is going to go. Okay, so it's now 5 a.m. and their Tuesday is starting. Let's start out with waking up Komei, because he is in a good enough mood to start making some items again. I will wake up Amin because 1, he is in the way, and 2, he could really use some coffee. So Komei is going to make many garden pots today. And let's see, Ivy was just finishing up her drawing, her blueprint, and she finished that so she can get something to eat. Now the table is empty, so John can start doing something. I think Brandy could take a little nap because she's going to cook meals again in the rest of the day, probably. And let's see, Andrea is in desperate need of using the toilet. Amin just collapsed again. He now has a heat stroke. Okay, well, maybe Christy can take care of him? Wait, well, let's pause. I was trying not to pause the game, but can Christy help him out? Nope. Probably not. Okay. Did he at least get his coffee? It looks like he did. He can't drink water. Okay. Well, just, I don't know, try and drink another coffee. That's probably not a good idea if you're having a heat stroke, but I don't know what else to do with him. So we'll let Christy get some sleep too, I think. No, she can spray these plants. She did water all of them. And she could harvest these plants. And then start preparing vegetables because she has those in her inventory. Amin is really causing some issues for the others. He's now also almost peeing himself. He is getting in everybody's way. But yeah, Abhijit should be crafting and he's in a very good mood. But Amin has some items that he needs. So we are going to let him collect the charcoal. And then... yeah, Amin can give him the items that he needs to craft the rest of the cabinets for in the new house. So let's let him give a gift. Andrea's doing something that she really doesn't need to do. So we're going to let her... right, let's give the planks to Abhijit. Andrea should really eat something and Abhijit can come in here and craft. We'll pause the game for that. We'll craft, let's see, dining table squares. Yeah, I don't think he can make 3, but let's see how he does. Oh, and John has gained his creativity skill. That is perfect. Cool. So now another thing that we need to do is give out some new jobs. So I thought that Andrea, since she is so set on having a guard duty, having someone on guard duty, we actually have a new career. And I want to let her get that career. It is called the zombie apocalypse. Oh no's, apparently. And there's a really cool perimeter defense career in there. And we're probably not going to use the entire career, but we are going to use a few of the jobs in there because they're just so cool that we just need to use those. Brenda is out here working on her charisma. And we also want to wake up Benjamin. He's already awake. He is eating something, and after that he can start doing something with these flowers because he actually does have the skill to... he has a badge in that. Kennedy is now flirting with Marissa, so that's not what we want. We want him to freshen up and then also get his breakfast. And I think that Marissa should also get some breakfast. We now have daylight, and everyone that is in the building career is... we have a fight. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, sure. No. Why are they fighting? I don't... oh, right, because of Kome? Or because of Goopy? I don't... oh my god. I didn't even know. Who won? Melissa won. Okay, let's pause the game for a sec because not everyone that needs to be in the building career is actually in the building career. I think, yeah, Amin is an apprentice builder, which is all right. But I also want Abhijit to be in the apprentice builder career. Where did he go? Where's Abhijit? He's out here. Oh my god. He's trying to confront Ivy about something. I still don't know if he like really hates her or just is really fascinated by her. He probably can take the fact that she is just totally unimpressed by him. Like she totally doesn't care about any of his flirting and his, you know, wanting to get the approval of all the women around him. So I'm sorry, Abhijit, but she is busy. She is not interested in your joke. We are going to give you the career of architect. And I want him to be an apprentice builder like the others. Yeah, let's go. That kind of interrupted the entire morning. Let's have Marilena grind some slag lime because we are out of soap and we need slag lime to create more soap. Apprentice builder, yes. Okay, so is he also going to leave for work or is he still trying to talk to Ivy? He is still trying to talk to Ivy. Police officer, that's a level too high, I think. That is what they're actually going to be promoted to so that we can unlock the law enforcement career, but they're not there yet. So we are going to careers at level 2, I think, and that is perimeter defense. So it's a whole story and it's pretty in-depth. Actually, it's more like a little quest that they designed, and I think it's really cool. But we are only going to use the perimeter defense and 1 or 2 more jobs from that tree. Abhijit, are you going to walk to work? There we go. Okay, now Sandy is really upset. Maybe she can come in here and just wash herself. No, she can actually come in here and take a bath. And Andrea and Joe are still constantly flirting whenever I don't keep an eye on them. They can come in here and clean themselves up. Actually, they shouldn't because, well, maybe we can just improve their moods a bit. But I want them to go into the mines. So let's see, Andrea's job starts at night, so 8 p.m. to 5 a.m., I'm sorry. So she has plenty of time to go in here and she is going to mine for iron. And I want Joe to go in here and mine for copper. Yes, there we go. And once Joe gains at least a few logic skills, we are going to put him in the politics career too. But right now, we really need him to go mining. So yeah, you should really go to work, John. You're late. You're late. Let's see, is Marissa doing something useful? No, she's not. They're out of food. Well, clean the trash. Yeah, that's perfect. And now also Kennedy needs to be at work. So let's see how his mood is. That's actually pretty good. After he will finish his food, he will be in a much better mood. And in the meantime, Marissa can come here and gather this dried fish. Comey should also go to work. He's probably going to be late. But he did make a few items, I think. Let's see. He has 62 knife blocks from the previous time that he did this. He now has 5 handmade garden pots. And that reminds me, we really need to have this treasure chest filled. So let's do that before we use the simoleons for something else. So I couldn't do it on a community lot, but we can absolutely do it right here. So we can deposit 5,000 simoleons, and that will make this into sort of a treasure chest. So I think that's perfect. There we go. So we can now either review the contents, we can withdraw the 5,000, or in smaller parts we can withdraw smaller parts, but we can also just put the treasure chest in our inventory. She can actually grab it, but we're going to put it in John's inventory since he is carrying all of the other treasure chests. Now I should really remember not to sell it, because if you sell it, it's only worth the 85 that it's actually worth. So we don't want that. There's 5,000 in there. And I think Christy worked pretty hard, so this morning she can take a nap before she goes back to the plants and preparing mash. Why is Andrea outside of the mines? She didn't go in. Did I misclick? Let's send her in here. Yeah. Okay. She did find a healing crystal. That's cool. Let's see. Where's Benjamin? He's still making the flowers. He does have a few more fish that he should probably... Yeah, he has 3 more fish. He should probably put that in the pantry after he's done with this. And Marissa's in the garden again. She really does that autonomously a lot. So that's good. And I really like having these objects. Like whenever I'm too late to catch them doing something useful, or not useful, or fighting. Whenever I skip a beat on giving them chores, the attraction on these items is really high. So they just come out here and either practice their archery or talk to the scarecrow archer. And that's also a really useful thing to do because it builds skills. But we're going to let Ivy take a rest. I'm not going to send her into the perimeter defense career because we are going to send a few of these guys on a scavenging trip again. So where's Marilena? She is still grinding this stone. When she's ready, we're going to send out another scavenging crew to the woods area because there are still a few buildings that we haven't checked out, and there's still possibility of finding new items to like treasure chests and stuff. We can still dig for treasure in those lots that we haven't visited yet. So that's what we're going to do. And I totally missed this because this happened exactly during the fight this morning. But and it's not funny at all, our grain fields have died. There was a drought, and that is part of the mod, actually, so that can happen. So the grain fields that Christy has been tending and fertilizing since spring have just died. And apparently with that, the grass that was growing on top of it. So that is actually really sad. But it also opens up an area that was supposed to be used for something else in the future. So I'm not too sad about it, but it really is not a good sign that we lost one of our 2 grain fields, because I think we only had one. I think, let's see, we had 1 grain field and we fertilized the cornfield out here. Yeah, so we lost like 50% of our fields. That's not really good. That's not really good. That reminds me that we should let Sandy, she's not going to take a nap at all. We're going to send her out here and make hay bales because these have been laying here for quite some time now. And we need the space for other stuff. So... And I saw that Marilena also has some fish in her inventory. So before they leave, she is going to dry the fresh fish. She has, let me check, 6 fish in her inventory. So yeah, and after that, they are going to leave on their scavenging trip. Oh, Amin where's his thumb. Okay, so he is going to be cool about it, I think. He loses a logic point. Oh no. Amin's thumb continues to throb throughout the day. By the end of the shift, Amin can barely move the injured hand. Amin is trying to hammer a board in place, but it slips from Amin's stiff hand and hits another worker on the head. The worker nearly escapes a concussion. The foreman, which is probably Brandon by now, learns that Amin caused the accident. He chastises, that's not a good word, Amin for a lack of common sense. Amin loses 1 logic point. Okay, so Marilena's finishing up on the fish. It is almost 10 a.m. So I was planning to go by 8 in the morning, but 10 is fine. 10 is fine. And they will be gone for 28 hours again. And we will see them back on Wednesday morning. But before we jump into the scavenging lot and see how they did that day, let's take a look at the notebook, because I don't think that I've shown you this in a while. I think I've only shown you this once. So I've been keeping track of the building days, and you can see that we have quite a few building points right now, but they've also built quite a few number of buildings. So here's the list of the first 4 buildings that they made. So we've got the 2 basic cabins, the storage barn, and the Shining Rock Park. And the 5th is probably going to be either another cabin again, or that town council thing with the fire in the middle, the fire pit, because John might actually get a promotion pretty soon. And these are the costs of the buildings. So you can see that actually the last one is also 4 building points, so we can just fill that in. And yeah, I'll do the calculations later. But I'm pretty sure they have a few building points left after this. They should have 4 building points left, because they can build 5 buildings. They had 20 building points. Yeah. Oh my god, calculations. So they have 4 building points left, I'm pretty sure. And on the next page was the first scavenging lots of the main hood. We've seen that, but we haven't seen this. So I've kept rolling every 7 a.m. for the new dice rolls for that day to see where they could go for their scavenging runs. And we were actually quite lucky that almost all of the lots are available now. It needs 2 crosses to visit it once. And yeah, as you can see, only the mysterious dense forest is not reachable right now. So we still have to roll for that. And we've been to the old hunting cabin, and we've also been to the forester shed. So you've seen those. And today we are going to visit the old toilet building. Now that might not seem as anything very pretty, and it's probably not. There might be some really useful items in there. So yeah, that's going to be interesting, I think. At least they're going to find useful items. So I don't know if it's interesting, but it'll be useful. And on the other side, you can see that there's like a certain set of items that will be available on these lots, like pre-planned items. But other than that, we also have the extra supply and the lucky finds. And looking at the extra supply, you can see that we rolled for quite a few number of items, but for this build I actually went with the candles. So I put some candles in there that we're going to find. And on the other side, the lucky finds, we actually did also roll for a treasure chest, but I'm actually hoping for a second one before we use it. The skill books we already found, but I have to edit that item. And we did find the survivors in the last episode, which means that today we are going to find a stray dog. And I'm so excited about that. So yeah, we're going to see that in the episode. So that will not be a surprise anymore, but we are going to see that. Yeah, so let's take a look at the jobs that became available today. So on the left side are the jobs that were available at the survivor settlement from the start. So we've got the politics career that John is now in, and he has actually finally met the requirement because he just gained his 3rd creativity skill. Then we have the architecture career, and this is a little bit more messier than I intended it to be at the beginning. I had the idea that we would have like 2 builders, and there could not be any more builders unless we had a foreman. So one of these guys had to be promoted. But building is going to be really, really slow when you play like that, unless you make the buildings cheaper, which would also be an option, of course. But during this series, I decided to just put more builders into the building career. And we've also been using the alternative building career, the architect career. And this is mainly for Abhijit to be able to be promoted to architect. So that's what we are going to use that for. And then we have the soil identifier, and that role has been fulfilled by Kennedy. He has been doing that, and we are going to continue with at least one soil identifier for the near future. And we have the relic liberator. So that's the one sim in the adventurer career that is just going to go out on their own on adventures and come back with lots of useful crafting points. And then we have the second phase. So these jobs will be available at the survivor settlement from the second phase. So not in the town itself, but only when they are still in the survivor settlement. So that's a requirement that I added because I want the survivor settlement to actually be the beginning for all new survivors. So they have to stay there until they at least unlock something or get a job that they can go into the town with and they can move into their house with. So we have the zombie apocalypse career that has been added mainly for the perimeter defense job. Because I really thought that was cool. It's in the evening, so they go out in the evening and just do their perimeter checks and whatnot. So I think Ivy is going to join Andrea in this career, but she's on a scavenging trip right now, so she wouldn't be home tonight and she would miss work. She would also be fired immediately because I'm still using the apocalypse hiders, which means that some of the functionality of the game, some of the mechanics of the game have been changed. So they miss one day of work, they get fired, and we can't have that. I don't want that. So yeah, we're going to wait one day and then we'll add Ivy into this career too. And we'll have 2 survivors checking the perimeter, which probably will make Andrea happy. Then we have the slacker career, which we talked about, I think, in the last episode, with the gas station attendants and power bike. And these guys are going to try and find new survivors that we are going to add to the settlement when they bring them home as colleagues. Because all of the townies in the hood have been made gas station attendants, so they should bring home one of these guys someday in the future. I don't know the chances. Then we have another requirement. Whenever we have 5 households, which is not yet, we'll have a field sales representative, meaning that there can be a little bit more trades between the households, and someone is starting to see opportunities of trading items between the different households and probably setting up businesses and in the future a distribution network and stuff like that. So that's where this is going to start here. There is a chance that I'm going to let Amin step into that career because he does have a degree. He has a degree in economics, so that would fit really well. He's the only one with that degree right now. We might find new survivors who have that degree, but right now he is the only one. And then we have these 3 careers. They've been a set of my favorite custom careers over the years. I've played with them a lot, and I think they're so cool and also very fitting for a neighborhood like this. So we have the healthy living, the EPA, and the public safety. I always forget what EPA stands for. I keep looking it up, but I'll leave a link in the description to these custom careers. You can find them on Mod The Sims. And I've linked these to the 3 lots that were available in the main hood from the beginning. So those are community lots, but they can be owned eventually by someone who is going to sort of run a business there, but it's mainly more a community service. So we are going to trade items. They will have the mechanics of selling stuff, but we'll keep the prices really low, and it's more like they're going to trade it against other households' crafting points. So that's mainly the idea. So the cornfields will be linked to the healthy living career. My idea for now is that Brandy is going to own this. Maybe someday we'll have some sort of restaurant in those cornfields, and I have a lot of ideas and visions about that, but we'll see what Brandy does with it. Kome is going to run the lumberyard, so we'll build some kind of a lumberyard on the edge of the forest. Maybe we'll expand the lot for that, but there is a little bit more space on the other side of the road. So we could expand a lot over the side of the road and sort of build a lumberyard there. Because I think it would be a little bit cramped if we did it in that just small part of the edge of the forest between the rocks and the bushes. It would be like in the middle of the road because there's a road right next to those bushes. And then lastly, we have the public safety career, and that is going to the survivor that is going to own the quarry. And the sim that is going to own the quarry is definitely going to set up some kind of mining company in the future, finding minerals, finding gems, and finding ores and all kinds of stuff. So this would probably be the resource that is going to make the most simoleons in the future, and the luxury items like jewelry and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how that is going to develop. For right now, I'm thinking that Brenda is going to own it, but I also think that Melissa would be really cool for that. The only reason I, for now, chose not to do that is because Melissa is probably going to end up with Kome. And it would be a little bit harder to manage if both of them would own a company. So, I don't know. Kobe could go there early morning and Melissa could go mining at night. They would sort of live separate lives. I guess that could work. Now that I think about it, that could actually work. But it also means that a lot of the resource gathering is in the hands of one household, which would make them pretty powerful in the new community. But we'll see. That might be interesting. And all of the other households are just going to own shops. I could also switch Brandy's household for Christie's. So Christie could technically also run a farmer's market, and Brandy could just have her shop selling herbs and tea and soap and candles and stuff like that. Now that I think of that, I'm probably going to switch those two around. So Christy will be owning the cornfields, and Brandy is just going to own her new little shop with a lot of random items and useful items that they can use at the early beginning of setting up this town. So yeah, those are some quite exciting things for the new phase of their lives, I guess. So let's jump into that old toilet building and see what useful items we can find there. So let's start with a little tour of the building. It's an old abandoned toilet building and it's been empty for years. That is the idea behind it. So there are some old toilets here, but nothing is working. During everything that happened during the apocalypse, this building has been used by survivors in several periods of time, I think, like right at the beginning, later on when they used it for shelter. We don't know if the ones that have used this area are coming back. It looks like it has been used to survive in. So there's a tent, you can actually see some food supplies. They built a fire right here and they left their backpacks. So, and also their food supplies or what's left of it. So we don't know if these guys are going to come back and what happened to them. Then on the other side is the other toilet building, and there are some useful supplies in here, but mostly it's a lot of crap, and there's a lot of trash in the middle area, but this is actually where the supplies are also hidden. So we're going to have to clean this mess up to find the useful items. So the theme for this build was actually medicine. So they are going to find some medical supplies here that they can hopefully use in the future. And then we also rolled for the extra supply, which gave us candles. So we can find those here. The scavengers are going to find this when they clean up this room. And then there was also a lucky find, and we will see that probably during the time that they are going to clean this up and go scavenging. So we will see our lucky find during this trip. But let's get to work because there's a lot to do. Most of these guys are still a little bit hungry or tired or need some of their needs being taken care of. So we'll set up the tent, we'll put them to digging for treasure, and we'll see how they'll do. And we'll start cleaning this place. So I think it is time to start cleaning out this maintenance shed. Let's start by turning off this radio because that can't happen. And we'll immediately put that in his inventory so we won't have to deal with that again. But yeah, this is sort of the maintenance shed where when this building was still in use, the cleaning crew would come and they would store their water, their cleaning supplies. And so there's a lot of old stuff, a lot of useful stuff, but also a lot of garbage. So let's start by taking all of that out and see what is underneath. And of course, this is real garbage, so they are going to have to clean this up to see what is underneath. So yeah, let's get started. And in the meantime, I think that Marissa can take a little break by sleeping on the sleeping bag. And I think, yeah, Brenda is taking a little break, but Sandy is really getting tired. So we're going to switch her with Marilena in a minute. Yeah, Marilena is fully awake, so we're going to wake her up and we're going to let Sandy go into the tent and sleep. Oh, they found a vase. That's actually worth a lot. But I'm really hoping that they will find a treasure chest because we can really use a few more if we want to move out all of the households. So far, it's just a bunch of little items and crops again, which is always good, but really hoping for the treasure chest. So let's see if we can already see what is beneath here. We can already grab some of the medical supplies when Benjamin comes back in. There's also some laundry detergent, which we can really use because we're out of soap. So yeah, I guess that is useful. And also some lost and found items probably that maybe we can give to the future kids. And these water supply things. It looks like it's water that could have been, you know, still good. So they are definitely going to take this. So, and here are some medical supplies too. So let's grab all of these items to take them home. A gas cylinder that might be of use to Ivy once she starts crafting. And these tools will definitely come in handy for one of the crafting benches. So some matches, always nice. We need these for our new households too, so they can all make fire and not just only a few of them. And of course, a bucket and some other supplies here. A lot of toilet stuff, but we are going to take everything just so maybe in the future we can use this in some other crafts. Some old pots and pans. And a fan, of course. We are definitely going to take that because in the future we will need a fan for everything that has something like gears in them. Like the power bike, we're definitely going to use one of the fans in the power bike. So here's the laundry detergent that can be used for washing our clothes. And let's grab these things too. A flashlight, that's always good to have. They don't have batteries right now, but they might find batteries in the future. So let's grab this first aid kit and these medical supplies and these bottles. And yeah, oh, I'm almost forgetting. I'm forgetting this one. So there's not really, it's converted from Fallout. It doesn't have anything in it, but it would have been really cool if it did. But we are going to take it. I think there's another one underneath here, but oh, there it is in the corner. Yeah, so we're going to take that one too. And yeah, we'll just proceed by taking the rest of the garbage out, I guess. Let's see what's underneath. Okay, so let's take the last of these items and then proceed to the next room. We'll give Benjamin a break and Marissa can do the next room. So we've got this old tricycle, some garbage items, some construction supplies, which might be useful, cleaning stuff, some old newspapers that, oh, we're not going to take these, but it's probably in the way. Yeah, we'll take the paper for some future fires or maybe for in the campfire tonight. Yeah. The last one of these. We're not going to take the furniture. We'll leave the furniture here, but we'll take everything else that we can grab. And even these plungers. Who knows what they might be good for. And some planks and the last of these items. Yeah, so that is actually it for this room. We've taken everything that there was to find here, including the medical supplies, and that will definitely come in handy in the future. So let's give Benjamin a break and we'll move on to the next room with Marissa. And while we're here, we should also collect this dung because we that will be useful. Even though Kennedy is not here right now, I'm sure that Marissa would want to take this too to do some research on. And yeah, let's move on to the next room. And for that, I think we need to move this fence. So we'll take this with us. And we might as well just grab the one on the other side as well. And yeah, let's see what's inside. I guess we do want to remove this bear trap. It looks dangerous. And yeah, we're just going to grab these items too. There's a little bit of soap right here. And there's even a plant outside of their little shelter. And some boots that they left here. So let's grab everything in here. So we have some sleeping bags, some pillows, some books, and some decor items. Did I just grab the rug? Yeah. Okay, good. We can take the rug. Another flashlight, and that one I think is actually working. That's an actual light. I can't, for some reason, cannot grab this book. There we go. Yeah, the backpack, the suitcase, and all of these food rations. Those are actual stockable items. And what I wanted to do with that is really keep them as an emergency supply. So whenever something goes really wrong, like during winter, we might have a food shortage. We can still have these food cans. But other than that, we're not really going to use them. Yeah, sure, we'll take the candle, the backpacks, and all of the boxes. And of course, we are going to take the tent. So it might be really, really nice to take this tent. and to have a second one. Because up until now we only had one tent, and yeah, I think no, let's leave the sink. Let's leave the sink. So yeah, I guess this room is empty too. We're not going to take this machine. That looks way too big, so we're going to leave that one here. But yeah, there's still the other room that we can check out, and that's the room with the candles in it. So we are definitely going to take the candles. So let's send her in here and see what we got. Again, some lights, some cleaning supplies, some tools, a tool belt actually, another Vault-Tec lunchbox. I can almost hear like the little sound it makes when I grab that. There we go. And yeah, a lot of these items some of these items we are going to use in future crafts, but some of these items we're also going to use as a decoration once we start building our shops and stuff. We cannot really decorate with anything that we didn't find, so it might be nice to have some items that actually look good in future stores. So I want to grab everything that we can find. And when decorating, I'm really not in... I really just put down random stuff, and I try not to think about it too much. I'm actually sort of surprised how easy it is to surprise myself. I'm like, oh, what the hell is that? Almost forgetting that I'm the one putting it there. If you're doing a challenge like this and there is some time in between building the scavenging lots and actually going there, that is much more fun than doing it closer together. All right, there are some trash piles here, so she can clean those up. The dead roses we're just going to leave here. Yeah. Oh, and there are some other things in here too. Okay, cool. What's that? Is that a coin pouch? No, that's heating powder. Okay. Does that work? I don't even know. Sure, a very old and dirty towel. Maybe Sandy could clean it. We are taking it. Some extra medical supplies, so that's good. And either food or rat poison, I'm not sure. But we better be sure before we eat it. Yeah, let's take this fire extinguisher and definitely these parts, because those can be used in future crafts. Yeah, we'll take this thing outside because I think they could burn some stuff and have a fire for tonight if it works and if it's accessible. And we're also going to take these wooden parts with us and this item. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's actually everything that they could find in here. So let's also definitely take those candles. And we have 4 sets of these. Because we rolled for it twice, it actually had 2 crosses next to it. So let's have her clean this up. And then we're absolutely done with cleaning up this entire mess. I didn't think we would do this before daylight ends, but we did. Did we take the poster? Nah, we'll leave the poster. We'll leave the poster. So let's see if we can light a fire in here. And we'll start with our evening program. So I think it's done. Yeah, it actually works. Cool. So I think Sandy had the wish to, be friends with Marilena. So that's cool. We're going to wake her up. I think we're out of water unless Sandy still has some. Oh, Sandy actually did have. Okay, that's good. So let's see. We can have her freshen up. Sponge bath. Ivy can keep going. I don't think she would be the one to socialize for the entire time. So we'll have her do that. We'll wake up Benjamin. He can also sit around the campfire. And can they? They can roast marshmallows. We could say that they found them in here. That could work. Ivy has gained a body skill. Cool. So she's working on that. Yeah, she only has 2, but it's she's getting better at it. So that's good. And Marilena has found some wintergreen. Still no treasure chests. And also not really anything else that is really useful. So still fingers crossed. Yeah, so Sandy is washing herself and then she can also sit around the campfire. So let's start that outing for our evening program. And yeah, we can just sit around the campfire. And yeah, Marilena hasn't really found anything yet. I might be a little bit superstitious, but Sandy is the one that has found the treasure chests up until now. So we're going to let her continue digging for treasure. And we'll have Marissa hang out with Benjamin. And they started digging for treasure around 11 in the morning, so it's now 6:30. I think with the breaks that they took, they could keep going until 8. But after that, they really have to quit, so they will have exhausted this lot and have found everything there is to find. So yeah, we cannot continue digging for treasure after that, but we can continue doing some socializing and some bonding during the night before we go back to the settlement in the morning. They did find some more vegetables and some paintings and some flowers, apparently. It honestly would be so nice if they would find a treasure chest in this last hour. I'm really crossing my fingers here. Nope, still plants. A rock. And an Orby thing, deco thing. It's 7:30. It's 7:30. We still have half an hour. We have half an hour. And I think these two should maybe try and make this a little bit more entertaining to hopefully get the outing score up. So they get a little boost from that. Yeah, now it's definitely 8 o'clock. And they should really stop doing what they were doing. And we'll let Sandy finish and get that one more item. Nope. Fireworks. Well, that'll be nice for the next wedding, but yeah, that's about it. So can we add logs? Do we have logs? We probably don't. So we will just let them eat something and socialize a little bit, and then they are going to sleep through the night, and we'll see them again in the morning when we are going to get ready to go back to the settlement. Of course, we already know that there is one more thing that is going to happen on this trip, and that might be a surprise to the survivors, but not to us. So they do sleep through most of the night, taking turns on keeping watch and working out while they are doing so. And then in the morning, this happens. And there's only one name that we could give this dog, which is, of course, Dog Meat. If you know, you know. But yeah, Meat, Dog Meat. He must have been out here all by himself because there's no sign of any survivors in the neighborhood. He's all alone. He just came running up to them as soon as he saw them. And he just looks really hungry and in desperate need of some love and attention. So yeah, we are of course definitely going to take this dog home with us. It's probably going to be Marilena's dog, and he is going to come with us on the future scavenging trips. I think she's trying to play fetch with him. Let's try again. Oh. Through the bushes. Well, why not? So yeah, oh, let's give these guys some privacy. So they just slept through the night. They had some mud fruit for breakfast. Keep it. They had some mud fruit for breakfast. Ivy is still working out. Benjamin is keeping a close eye on the surrounding area. And these two are just going to talk and hang out. Because they became much closer during the night and during their socializing around the campfire. So don't mind that, that's Marcus, we'll see him in the future. So we're going to let Marilena get a little bit closer to Dogmeat right here, and then we will adopt him into our family. He does look so cute though, for a guard dog. So that was our lucky find for today. I'm so happy that we finally do have a dog right now. There's also another lucky find that involves animals, and that is the horses. But I'm still hoping that we'll roll more horses so that we can get more than just one or two to take home to the settlement. And those are going to be wild horses, so not rideable immediately, but that is the idea, that these faraway places will be better to reach when they have some kind of vehicle. And a horse counts as a vehicle, so it's cool to see that she actually does want to play with him. Let's see, is she interested in animals? She does have a pretty high interest in animals. That's good. Don't destroy that, please. So yeah, I guess we are just about done here. We are going to stay here until noon. Because we are on that 28-hour restriction, so we do have to stay here for a little bit longer. We are just going to socialize a little bit, work on their skills. I think Ivy was working out. She's curious about the dog right now, but she was working out. So they're working on their skills and their hobbies. And Marilena is getting close to Dogmeat, and we will return home around noon and pick up where we left off at the settlement. So I'll see you guys there. But let's first see how John did with Eli, because during his working hours as a lobbyist today, he talked to Eli about his plans of using the gas station and its radio to make contact with more survivors out there and hopefully find more people to join their little community in the future. John started out by just sitting next to him, and Eli seems okay with that, but Eli is also still a very unpredictable person, so we'll have to see if he is going to agree on having visitors over almost daily. So we are going to do that minigame again that we did in one of the previous episodes when we visited Eli, and we have exactly 1 hour to befriend Eli, and if he is going to stand there, that's not going to work. So we'll just place him here. Don't walk away, please. He's unpredictable enough without me. Without him doing that. Okay, so whenever there's a negative interaction, we have to roll, and we just have... That's the first one. We are just going to count the walking away as the unpredictable behavior for this time. We're just going to continue and try and chat. So we're at 17, and we can only chat with him as long as we are not friends. So that's the only interaction that we can use. This does seem to be going much better than last time, so let's hope for the best. And if not, we at least had the conversation with Eli, but we just cannot trade any items, so... He actually does seem very much okay with John's plans, so I guess he's in and he's willing to have visitors over. So that's a good thing, really. We still have, I think, 15 minutes, so 11:40 is when we have to leave again, because John is only going to be here for an hour. But yeah, I think they're actually going to make friends before that, so that would be really cool. So we can trade items with him again. John's talking about his visions of the new world and little kids walking around in it pretty soon. Eli seems to respond to that pretty well, actually. Let's see, John is at 52. Eli is at 40, so Eli is not with 47. Are we going to count this as a as a win? I think we should. I think we absolutely should, because this was so close to actually... So we're going to give him... I have the exchange gift mod, so let's see if that is going to work. You can stop chatting now. Let's see, what should we give him? Not the dirty laundry, definitely not the treasure chest. We could give him a healing crystal. We have very many of those, and it would be nice for him to have one. I think that would be fine. He might also be interested in a fossil, but... or, you know, the little toy unicorn. That seems like something that Eli would actually like to have, but we're going to keep this for John's first kid. So yeah, we're going to give him a healing crystal. Let's see if he is going to accept it. Yeah, he is going to accept it, and how he can actually give John something in return. So let's see, we have a few items in Eli's inventory. We are not going to give him the sim blender. Well, actually, we should give him the sim blender. Eli should have some of the fuel items in his inventory, and because I didn't really prepare this, I didn't do that, but that is how we are going to do the trade options in the future. So that means that John can now randomly grab some items from here that we would like to have. And I think for now we're not going to trade it against the generator, because that is way too valuable. But we can absolutely grab these cement bags, so we are going to do that. And I think one fuel can, that should be fair. So we'll take one fuel can for now. And we'll have to come up with some better items for Eli. I think maybe John could also have given him the mirror. I think Eli would actually kind of like that. So maybe that's something that they can trade the next time. But yeah, we've traded our daily item for now. They've made friends again. And Eli seems to be very much willing to participate on John's plan to use his radio, use the power bike, and just try and find more survivors out there. So yeah, that's really cool. We can start doing that once we finally have the power bike, because we obviously still need that last blueprint for that. Okay, but it's time for John to go. So let's say goodbye to Eli, and yeah, go home to Brandy. So back at the settlement, Andrea and Joe are still in the mines, mining away for a few more hours before they come out with all new resources. And in the garden, Brandy and Christy are taking care of the plants together, as usual. And the fact that we now have perimeter defense also means that we do not have to worry about wild animal attacks anymore in the main hood. So no more rolling for danger when they go out or stay home with a lower number of combined body points, only for in the main hood. So the perimeter defense is only for in the main hood, and having at least one survivor in that perimeter defense career means that they do not have to worry about it anymore, and they can count on someone being on the lookout at all times. We'll go and let Christy harvest some more berries and these mysterious berry snacks and stuff, and more vegetables, because she can make from the berries she can make prepared mash, and from all the vegetables she can make prepared vegetables. So we really want all of that to store in our new storage barn for winter. So we will let her get started on that. And I think that Marissa also harvested some of these vegetables, so she might have a few of them in her inventory too. So it's almost 12 o'clock, almost noon, and that is when the first few builders are going to come back from their day at the construction site. So we are just going to wait for them. And right before they left this morning, Goopy actually got a chance card. So we chose for Goopy to rebuild the wall. And he gained a logic point, which is really, really nice because those are very rare to come by in this settlement. So the ones that are returning from work are Amin, Abjit, and Melissa. And even though Amin is in a really bad mood, I want him to continue cutting rounded beams because we really need these for... those are really the last few items that we need for John and Brandy's home. Oh, and apparently Kome is home too. I had missed that. So he can continue crafting the garden pots. Make many garden pots. There we go. And I think that Melissa could come in here and get started on another blueprint. Because we still need that 4th or 5th exercise machine. We'll just keep trying. And Abjit is just going to come here and make some more furniture because we are going to need a few more of these. Let's see, dining table squares. He doesn't have the materials. I think he does. No, we're actually not. We're out of short planks again. So Amin will have to also saw some more short planks. Let's see, that's these. So yeah, Amin's gonna have to do a lot of work right now. So we might as well let Abjit take a nap until Amin is ready. And Melissa is not in the mood to make a blueprint. Let's see, where did she go? She's actually not in that bad a mood. Maybe if she just cleans up the laundry, it'll improve. I think it will, and then she can just draft those blueprints. Because we do really need those. Still not in the mood, huh? Okay, she can take a nap too. And then we'll just try again when she feels better. Amin is going to need a little break after this one, I think. We're going to give him the coffee. I think he could really use it. So Amin just woke up Abjit and gave him the planks. So we can continue crafting right now. And he's very, very tired. So we're going to let him sleep until the coffee is ready. So Abjit can now come here and start crafting. Ah, good. And John is home. He seems happy. Oh, and Joe came out of the mines. He's probably going to collapse. He is... He's not having a heat stroke yet, but we should really take care of him and make sure that he's alright. This is so cute. Brandy came out here to tell John a dirty joke, but he's looking at her like, I don't know how to respond to that. Yeah, the idea is that they were going to move out when John came home, but I guess they will move out around 4 o'clock, which will be fine, perfectly fine as well. And the coffee is also ready, so we're going to collect that, wake up Amin, and finish the rest of the planks. We really only need 3 more cabinets. Goopy and Brandon are also home, and Andrea just came out of the mines, completely exhausted, but she did find a lot of iron. So yeah, we're back to full chaos with almost everyone home right now. We can also grab these more bags of cement that the building crew brought today. We have 3 builders in the apprentice builder career, so we've got 3 piles of cement bags. Apparently Kome is not too happy about it, but he is going to grab all of them. And Kennedy has also returned, so I think since he wants to be fit, we are going to just let him work out and use this punching bag. Oh good, Melissa is out here. Is she now finally going to make the blueprint? I think she is. She is going to make the blueprint. Yay! John also still had these fossils in his inventory, so I think we should let him crack these. And we'll let Brandy give all of the items that she still has in her inventory to Christy. We'll have to wake both of them up for that, but I think that's alright. So let's see what we'll get here. A geode. There we go, and all Brandy has left is her basket. Oh, is that in the way? Sorry, John. Try again. There we go, another cracked geode. And then it's finally time to move out of the settlement and into their new home. John and Brandy have their last romantic moments at this place, and I think they're really happy that they are finally able to leave. John seems pretty much done with everyone smelling this bad all the time, and Brandy's like, remember that time that you burnt the food? That was fun. Of course, they have to say goodbye to Christy, and I think that Kome was also on his way to say goodbye, but he is close to getting a heat stroke. And Christy's telling Brandy to make sure to keep in touch. And I'm sure that she was just worried that they will all starve without Brandy's cooking, and that she isn't sure that she will be able to fill Brandy's shoes. And then, after one more hug and Christy wishing them good luck with their new home, Brandy and John finally do leave the settlement this all started in and walk towards their new cabin. We'll just have to imagine the little sunset they're walking towards here. Now we're here with John and Brandy on their temporary lot, and I've invited Kome because he had all of these items in his inventory, because they really did craft or find all of these items. So yeah, let's take a look at what a basic cabin is costing the survivors and what they need in order to build one. So starting out with a treasure chest and a lighter, which they always need because otherwise they cannot make fire in the new house, and they are going to get 1 stack of firewood to take with them. Then we've got 8 logs, 3 stone blocks, 6 slack lime, because that is used in the build too, 5 sacks of cement, 2 stacks of bricks and 2 stacks of copper, 2 doors, 4 windows and 4 glass panes. And then for the furniture, the chest that we are actually going to take with us, and we are not going to sell that, 4 chairs, 1 table, and 4 tables that are going to represent like the kitchen cabinets. So we are not going to have that many tables. And 1 double bed. And then right here we have the plates, 6 plates, and the food. So these are for preserved fish, which are 75 points each. At first I was going to sell them so they could buy a fridge, but I have some adjusted fridges right now, so those are empty, so we are going to take this with us. And then the greenery. So this is really just a bonus, so they can get however much greenery they can make in between 2 households moving out. Yeah, that's just going to give us a little bonus, or in this case really the bare minimum. So let's sell all this stuff so they can actually buy the house. There, so we are left with the food items, the chests, the lighter, and the firewood, and we have 9,999. I didn't know we would end up with that. Let's see if Kome has we'll give them just 1 more plank, a decorative plank there, that will push them over the 10k. There we go. So now they have 10k. And let's see what their house is going to look like, because of course John had a lot of dreams, but we know that they're going to end up with a basic cabin, so let's see what their life is going to look like from now on. So we will just move these guys out of their temporary lot and into their new home, which is right here. And we know that John had all of these dreams about their future home and their future kids and a home to grow old in. And this is actually the house that they are going to work towards, that they are going to make adjustments to their home so that in the end they are going to end up with this house. But I'm guessing that'll take them a few years, so we're not going to give this to them right at the beginning. But I did want to show you this because I did build it, and yeah, this is what they are going to work towards, and I already think it looks so cool, but it's not even really done on the inside. They do have sort of a library and an office space, and definitely the garden out here that will be full with vegetables and herbs in no time, I'm sure. But they can definitely replicate that in their small little cabin. And then around the back, they also have their, Brandy's little corner where she can sell stuff. Mostly herbs and teas and not poisons, potions and stuff. So yeah, I think that is going to be really cool. She is also going to open up a shop, but I think that in the end they might have a shop at their home like this and a sunroom, because you gotta have a sunroom. But yeah, I guess you cannot have this without starting out with this. And guess what the first thing is that they did when we arrived here? So yeah, I guess that was almost half of the house tour. So we have a bedroom right here. We have sort of a kitchen right here. And there's not much in it. We have a bucket. I'm going to pause the game. We have a bucket and one chest of clothing that they brought with them. 2 nightstands, and they are going to have laundry. We have 1 candle in the house. And a dining area and 1 cabinet, I guess. A cupboard, I don't know, what's that called? But it has some shelving to keep some personal items in. And right here is the trash bin. We have the water catcher, a new tree that Kome has given them a sapling. All of the houses get 1 sapling. And a table outside, a drying rack for their laundry, and a cooking pot. Not everyone is going to get a cooking pot, but Brandy is going to have one. Then we have the cellar fridge. Yeah, the other cabin has an inside fridge, pantry, but this one has a cellar pantry. And yeah, we have this little corner right here. Also to store items in the future. And if you're wondering where the mailbox is, I've hidden that in this neighborhood deco thing. So it should be around here somewhere. There it is. That's the mailbox right there. So we're not going to see that. And there is a time control clock inside this tree here. So I might at some point forget where it is, especially with the mailbox. But yeah, we can set the time to 80% on this lot too. There are still some stop signs that I keep seeing when I'm inside of one of the houses, but not when I'm in neighborhood view. So I do have to get rid of those. So yeah, that is their first cabin. And it's already becoming like a really, really long video. So we'll keep their first day in this house for one of the next episodes. We might do like a special where all of the new households that we have created. There will be a few. I'm not really sure how many, but there will be a few. That we get to follow them on their first days. I do, however, want to set them up for the right season and the right time of day. So let's get all of these things out of here. The season controller and the day setter. So let's see, they left on Wednesday. They left on Tuesday. So day of the week is going to be Tuesday. Time of day is probably going to be 4 o'clock. Because that is around the time that they left. It was a little bit later, but that doesn't really matter. Season is 2. They're in summer. And the days left in the season, they were about halfway. We'll keep them in sync with the others. And we are going to ban all NPC. We're going to ban all critters. And ban all sim types. And yeah, we'll get rid of the Simlander for now. We might need it in the future to teleport in some of the others, but yeah, for now we don't need it. So yeah, I guess they are all set for their first day here. Of course, the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to set up a little garden right here. I am actually sort of itching to do that right now, but this video would become really, really long if we did that. So we'll just look at these guys being completely happy in their new home. And oh my god, guess what? Guess what? What are we missing right here? On the first try, she's actually pregnant. That's really cool. Really, really cool. But that is definitely something for a future episode. So it looks like these guys are gonna have to get by without John and Brandy here. It's already interesting to see that Brandon immediately took John's seat, so we'll see what is going to happen there. And these constant heat strokes are definitely going to be an extra challenge in the summer. We cannot let the survivors work as hard as they did in the spring, and they'll have to take more breaks in between chores. Also, I think I promised to redecorate the research corner, but that will also have to move to another future episode. I hope you can forgive me. There's just so much happening at the same time right now. I think it's a really interesting time for these survivors as they all move into their new households one by one and still keep this settlement running. But for now, I want to thank you so much for spending time with me, following these survivors on their journey to rebuild society in a new world. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!